All right, welcome to the podcast. This is episode 10, something new. Open up with a guy who is, almost like a time capsule when it comes to this rap thing, to any type of pop culture. You've seen this man around, you've been to shows, you're an artist, you know him. If you don't, you live under a rock. I'm here with Cee Gee, man. How you doing?
Pretty much, man. New year, new album, and then new year, new decade, also new album.
Right. Definitely, man. Definitely. How you doing today?
Doing fine. Glad we closed out the year, and I got big things coming up for 2020.
Definitely. So as we know, today is the 30th of December. So this is in 2019, but this will be released in 2020.
Right.
Are you one of those guys who subscribes to like the New Year, New Me, or like New Year's resolution type of thing? Do you get into that, or you just go right ahead and do work?
You know what? I really never really see it that type of way because because I noticed that the things I do is kind of like the same, but I just kind of like it. I just the shit I do was kind of like I just do I just kind of follow along. Although I do kind of see what's this new year coming up is going to feel to me.
Very important to start the decade off right.
Yeah.
It's in the year, of course. You got some things that you've been doing for the past. How many years would you say? Like 8, 7, 8?
Well, I made my first beat since 10 years.
So 10 years ago you started for real.
Yeah.
It was like when you start like dabbling into the beat making processes and all that.
Well, yeah.
Got you.
And then I didn't start coming around the scene until like 2014.
2014. Okay. What made you get into that? What made you get into music to the point where you're making beats and things like that?
Oh man, we had to go way back further.
Let's go ahead. We got time.
Yeah, because yeah. So back then, producing was never really my thing.
Okay.
When I was a kid,
what was your thing?
Being DJ.
Okay. All right. So you wanted to DJ initially? Well, you do that a little bit of that now.
Well, I do a little bit now, but when I was like 5 or 10, I was like 5 or 6. I was like 5 and 6 years old because
Gotcha.
at the time, I was the music was me born in the early 90s and the days that listen to radio, that was when the radio was the shit at the time.
Right, as a go-to.
And then I was watching I was heavily watching music videos. And that was when Your MTV Raps was on point, and then the BET Rap City.
Of course.
That was like
Big tag.
it was huge. This is before I was onto that. Like this is pre 106 Apart, and then I was kind of like I was listening to a lot of music that was coming out, and then I just wherever I come home from school, whether I'm watching cartoons, play video games, or just watch BET.
Right.
And that's what I was catching on when the music was out or music was out. Even though today you just watch everything through YouTube, and that's what basically that got me into music. But as far as on the DJ side, I was kind of get on like the mixtape DJ,
right?
Because that was when
got you. Okay,
because that was the time. This is before artists can scrap their self
right
on a mixtape. But back then, I used to go to my brother's cassettes or CDs collecting, and then I see a lot of some exclusive songs or before or after it comes out, or freestyles like Clue tapes and Funkmaster Flex and Juan G, and then SNS tapes.
Right.
And that's when and then I was getting into that, and then when I started making my own tapes, and then I was kind of play around with it because I was like because I for Christmas my parents gave me my own stereo. I used to go through one of my folks' collections so I could just play music and whip cassettes, and then we just start going just starting playing music that was songs was out or album cuts, and I just I used to go down the store and buy a blank tapes, and I just did that for that, and then I transitioned and a year later I transitioned to the CDs, and I kind of did the same thing.
Right.
And then that's when and that's when I did the and then I was kind of learning how to DJ and on the mixtape DJ days. I wanted to learn how to do the cuts, but at the time I didn't know how do
a scratching that.
Yeah, that scratch is like even though I want to learn that now.
Right.
Even though I didn't have the proper equipment, but even though that's gonna be my next wish list.
Right. That's your next thing to get.
Yeah, that's the next thing I want to get, and then me getting like a DJ. What transitioned me being a producer was, cause I was already listening. At that point I was already listening the Tribe and the Wu, and then Nas was already out, and then Gangstar was around,
right?
And then and then and then 04, that's when I was starting my music trajectory started getting a little bit changed, because I was I was starting listening to Talib Kweli, Mos Def, The Roots, and Slum Village. I
started getting into more spiritual rappers.
Well,
rappers with a deeper message,
and also more underground rapper.
Underground, right?
Yeah,
right.
Underground music. That was a time that and plus and I was listening to College Dropout by Kanye, which how he is right now, but back then, the beats kind of brought the soul back, and even the group Little Brother, with the listening, I was already listening because Mad Villainy was already out,
right?
So I was already listening music, in the underground, because commercial rap was starting to get a little bit it started to get a little bit less interest to me, because I knew where the music was going as far as the mid 2000s, because that was the time that the snap music was getting,
right. That was that whole era,
and was getting a little high, and then plus and plus this is around the Hip Hop Is Dead era.
Right. And that was the early 2000s, right?
Well, the mid 2000s, because Nas dropped the album 06.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He dropped the album in 06, and then that was a whole the sound was getting too big, and then and then a lot of rappers was coming out or was already out. They would start to get less interest, and I was already listening to music by then, and I didn't get jumping making the beats. I was still getting to, but my 16, 15-year-old mindset at the time wasn't really and making the beats. But then that's what kind of I've already had inspiration, the beats. Well, actually the sound, basically. I was paying attention to the sound more than just making at the time.
Right. Got you. So what are some of your bigger inspirations from? Where do you draw inspiration from, as far as maybe artists who kind of made you be yo, this is, I could do this myself type of thing? So a lot of people, producers, will say Jay Dilla or something like that. I was just curious if you had anybody that you really look to for that inspiration.
Well, as you said, him is it's definitely one of the inspiration, but nobody never really talk about Q-Tip.
Right.
Nobody saying anything about Q-Tip, because even though he did brought Dilla in the game during after the album after Midnight Marauders. But Q-Tip is kind of one of the main inspiration, because that was fun. It was crazy that I did see him on stage last Monday.
I was gonna say, just recently at the Rock Marcy show.
Yeah,
right?
he did. Yeah, he came on the stage, and I was it blew me the fucked up when he was on set.
That had to be a moment.
It was a moment, because because nobody knows that I'm a huge Trop head myself, and
right.
and then like seeing him in person, and then it was kind of like a little bucket list. Although like, and I still haven't got a chance to I haven't got a chance to meet him this day, but it's still on my bucket list though.
Right.
But yeah, but it's just this, like the sound, and also how he structured with the samples, and also the drums, and even though he got a little bit bigger with the instrumentation, and so Tip was kind of one of them, and then Primo was like it's like the same thing with the with the beats, and also the ill with the cuts, and then Pete Rock was doing it's one of them. It's like the it's like one of them was like like he does with the jazzy type of like sound, and also what he ills with the interludes,
right?
Because when you listen to some of his discography, like every time when the song over, and like he always put those beats in between songs, and then like at the end of the record, and then and those couple seconds beats, and then ship it to the next songs,
right?
And you can hear that on the you can hear that on the stuff that I do on
definitely, yeah, I could definitely see the inspiration now.
And then of course Knife Wonder, and like who was like it was huge inspiration like in my teenage days, because not knowing who Little Brother is, because after I was listening to The Listening was the album, and then of course the Minstrel Show, and of course like when he kind of stepped out of the group, and that's when I started listening, because like I'm thinking like, who the fuck who make beats out of North Carolina? That was like, cause this is before J. Cole, like it just blew my mind. It's like I was like I'm thinking to myself like, who these niggas come from, like from North Carolina? They making the ill music like this,
right?
And that was kind of like and then those sounds is kind of like what brought me into the group, and also the crew that was rolling with, and then. Right. And then since then when he after with the group kind of dissolved, he kind of went on to Jamala and everything that he does, and I know that the beats kind of so those 5 inspirations that kind of brought me who I am today.
Got you. That's what's up, man. So you talk about when you came on the scene in 2014, and you've been doing music for, you said 10 years, right?
Right.
So pretty much this whole decade.
Right.
And now seeing how you've transition from, because I don't even know your first beat. I just remember I remember you from church, to be honest with you. We go back to McAlpine.
Oh yeah.
That's another question too. Did that play a role in your music, like church, at all?
Well, at the time, like at the time, like when I was in the youth group, like I was just like kind of like yeah, when I was in the youth group, like I was kind of like just trying to like cause I was hanging with my friend DeAndre at the time, at the time, and then and plus like it did kind of kept me stay out the way it was going on in the streets at the time.
Definitely.
And then like, cause I was like at the time, and then I was trying to get my spiritual head, and also having music, and I do have a talent in me, but nobody knew. And because the time I was in the van, on the car, I always rocking the headphones, and that back then it was a CD player before MP3.
Right.
I was just kind of like, and because I'm in the car like for like a half hour in a minute, just listening to my headphones and just rocking what was my own collections, and then I always had to hide like what I listen to, because I get asked questions about like what I'm listening to, because a lot of people don't even know they knew who I was. I always get like dogged or
really? For the music you chose to listen to.
Yeah, because this is during at the time, like this is when, like I said, this is when 04, 05. That was when crunk music and like snap music was about to go.
And you weren't on that.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, so that's why people would get at you because you weren't on like Lil Jon and stuff like that.
Well,
Kinda,
I wasn't on it. It was just not even like my huge
right,
the huge thing. 'Cause I had to find what was like what was into me,
right.
and then
Definitely.
that's what kind of like, and then like the more I keep on listening to the beats, and then like because I was just because like I was in. Cause I did the same thing when I was on the bus, cause like cause back then I used to get picked up like from my school to the school to home, and then home to the school, and then this is before I was starting going around
Right.
days, and that's what kind of like I did this. So I was already transitioning from the music like from like during the church, and nobody knew that I have a talent because I didn't even told or asked nobody who I wanted talent, because at the time that was that was during the time everybody wants to be like a rapper or a singer,
Sure.
or a DJ,
Right.
but nobody ever talk about like being like a producer,
Right.
or not like that, because especially in Buffalo that was so kind of rare. And then like even though I come from like even though I come from a family with like a media lifestyle, that I came when I was growing up.
Yeah. What did your family do?
Well, my dad, maybe God bless, he was a cameraman.
Okay.
Yeah, for BCTV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, he was a cameraman. Well, he had his own like local TV show, called Buffalo Public Showcase, and then he was and then also he does like videography, like for family to weddings to like like meetings, and plus the shows that that was around the city, or the times that we go on the trips. We were just the times where we go on the trips that we was we was just taping it like slow motion, and then we just going on like he was just doing his work, and then even though I got a little brother right now who's carrying his tradition.
Okay, so your little brother does the family taping and all that stuff now.
Well,
like
yeah,
videography and things like that.
well, yeah, like videography, like, and also weddings and baby showers.
Gotcha, that's dope.
Yep, and then as far as like and I got an older brother who was like who was already in this music scene of Buffalo back then, because he was managed this group called Off the Block, which there was an R&B group.
Okay.
Like
who's your brother?
Gordy.
Gordy Green.
Gordy German.
Gordy German.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was he was like he was my mom. He was older. My mama had him before he met my dad.
Okay, got you.
So like he was the oldest. And then like, but he was like he come from like when he come from like the where this culture was kind of like grew, and that was like the when I first saw the guys that was singing, and then and because they used to come to my house or in rehearsing around the basement, because there's a tape like floating around my house, or my brother got the those things that I was in the basement, that by me like chilling while they was just like rehearsing, and also, but the group was considered like four members. It was Huston, Marco, John L, and God bless Mario.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, because it was a foreman. Because that was the time. Because that was the time that the R&B groups like Jodeci and Boys and Men and
Right.
Blackstreet and later 112 and Jagged's like that was the height of the
like that like 4 top group or 3.
the R&B group
The
during
R&B group in general, yeah.
during the 90s.
Right.
So there was kind of huge inspiration what was going on at the time.
Right.
And that kind of like I kind of saw the music's like early on, but I didn't kind of like but I wasn't even like get on top of that. But then the group kind of like, and then once my brother kind of did some time like during the late 90s, and then got out, and then kind of jumped back to the and business. By this time the group was kind of like was duo.
Okay.
And that's when like the Buff City Records was about to jump in in like 2000s.
Gotcha.
And that's how I already knew about DJ Shay like early on.
Right.
And that's and then like he was, because my brother would do business at the time. And then the thing was kind of rolling, and that's when the group kind of like dissolved. And now it's when that's where I found out about the one of the guys got killed like 07.
Wow. Rest in peace to them.
It was actually it was Mario.
It was Mario, right?
Yeah. I can't imagine like if he was around like then, like who knows that he'd still be
doing it.
Yeah, he'd be still because he'd be still doing it because doing how like today is.
Right. It's so accessible now.
Yeah,
anybody could do it if you really wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I did my first, and as far as like, and as you was, and what you asked about the first beat I did was after when like because after when the situation I was going through with like with I was held up with the gunpoint.
Really?
Gunpoint like in like December 30th, 07.
Wow.
Even though we're 12.
Wow, today. Like,
Wow. This is 12 years.
12 years to the day.
12 years ago that I almost got victim gunpoint. And then that was like, because I was terrified
I'm sure.
as hell and paranoid. And plus, that was a rough way to end 07 and then and 08. And then and around the same time my dad was sick, and then got sick, and then he ran him back in the hospital, and then later he passed March 08. Right. And that kind of like because that was like one of the dark time of me, and also the same time that music during that time I was kind of like I was kind of tuned. I was already disgusted and tuned out what was out during it because the music was starting to get a little bit worse.
Yeah, it started to get your Soulja Boys and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was Yeah, it was the Soulja Boy was out, and also the ringtone.
Yeah, ringtone era. Yep.
The ringtone era was huge. Like it was kind of like plus little let's not forget the Carter 3.
Oh yeah, but the Carter 3 was like a timestamp, a monument. I think. Did you not like the Carter 3?
I didn't. I still to this day I never listened to it.
What?
I never listened to bro.
That's a classic album.
I mean, it is a classic album, but I mean, I like even though I like the Kanye's production, but at the time, because at the time I wasn't like because at the time I was kind of I wasn't really like.
You weren't really in the space to be listening to music. It was, like you said, it was dark time for you.
It was. Like, I was already listening to music underground-wise, but I just haven't really, like... I was kind of moving around.
Right.
And trying to figure out what I was going to do.
Of course.
By myself. Like I said, I was coming off from being paranoid for gunpoint and also losing my father. And then I was 17. Mm-hmm. Close to 18 when he passed, and then plus I didn't have a job. I was do, so it was just like it was a really tough time. Tough time I was trying to get into back then, and then like I said, the music was really in my space. Yeah. And then like a year later, once I was in a moment that I was trying to get myself situated, and then that's when like, and also I was changing schools.
Okay.
By that point.
Where'd you go to school?
That's the first time I ever told what some school I came from out of Tonawanda called Summit Academy.
Okay.
Because like it kind of taught me about who I am right now about the speech, and then as far as like as far as like and then I go like a BOCES and Audubon and now mind you, I go these places, but not from here.
Right.
Because I didn't start going to Buffalo places until 09, which is Occupational Training Center, which stands for OTC. Like I started going there, like September, and then just trying to get myself situated, like with the jobs and everything, and that's when I met this part. And while I was there, I met this partner named Jarrell, who was also known as Scrap, and also he's my MC. Named by he's semi-auto now, and we're kind of like Almighty Rebels.
Gotcha.
Now.
Okay.
So back at the time, we was kind of like a little bit like interested where we are, and like as far as music.
Gotcha.
But he was on some like underground shit too.
Right. Okay. So you found like a soul.
Yeah.
That's
like
so
he was because because he was a rapper too.
Okay.
By then, but when I met him, he stepped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. By then he was stepped out, and then he put me on. And the crazy thing is that he got me on to the Benny them.
Okay.
Like early.
Okay.
But I wasn't even like I wasn't even like trying to tune in to what was going on around here at the time.
Right.
But he was just kind of like tap me on like early.
Gotcha.
So like so I was into that, and then so fast forward when I was kind of like I went out of town for my uncle's birthday party, or a surprise birthday party, and then a party, and then I was kind of like I was in the fucked up condition with my tooth because like cause I had a pull, like yeah, and then I had to go I was there in the back edition, and then I was there celebrating, and then I see my cousin who was on my last project, and then the last song, and then he was like, and then like he was already starting music by that point. So the next day when we was at my uncle's house, and then my whole family was there. We was like celebrating, and then once I was there, I seen music equipment, and I seen this music equipment, and then once I found I see the records I had that he had, and then I found this Michael Jackson song record, and then that I wanted to flip the Human Nature joint because because I was so huge on that because that was around the time he passed.
Right.
09.
Right.
That
definitely.
was around the time he passed.
Yep.
And that was actually so he was just trying to show me how to use the equipment, because like the way he made beats was through the piano.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, that was the way he did it. And there's a picture around like it was like me and him were in the studio, like the first actual thing I did, and then that was actually the first beat I ever did.
Gotcha. It was a flip of Human Nature.
Yep.
Wow.
And that was I was trying to get my own sound, and I did that was actually the first beat I did. And then I kind of wish I wanted to do more after I came home.
Right.
But I didn't have no computers. I didn't have no software.
Of course, right.
I was like,
you didn't have the infrastructure yet.
No, I didn't have no because I still have a job yet.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't have a job yet. I feel like I want to come. I want to want to come home and want to do it. And then I tried and my sister had a laptop at the time. you know, he was you know, she was like I was trying to borrow hers, you know, just still downloading and still I tried this FL studios, like the demos, even though I didn't even though I didn't have the like I didn't have the way to, you know, to pay for it to get the service. Cause we were just using the demos, and then and then I tried a little bit, and then like, you know, I don't like the way that I can just make the beats though. So I kind of still doing it. In the meantime, me and my partner was still we was trying to do a way to do with ourselves, because I told him I wanted to do beats, and then like, but I didn't have any equipment, so I was still, because we was trying to figure out how we're gonna do as a group, even though we didn't have a name ourselves yet,
right?
But we just kind of like but we just started, like, you know, trying to figure things out, because you know, figuring things out, because like I was on some DJ shit, like I just download some beats, and then he would just rap it over some hip hop shit, and then the only way that we recorded, because at the time we had like those small phones, and we just, like, you don't just use it over voice recording, and use it stereos, and then trying to make it like you're in the fucking studio.
Right. Humble beginnings.
Yeah, it was like a humble. I still got that shit on my hard drive.
That's what's up. And that's what's up.
We still got that my hard drive. And then,
definitely keep that around.
Yeah, but we still got it. And then I don't like listening to shit I did like
I feel you.
Like 10 years ago. That's the same thing with the beats too.
Of course.
And then
because you evolve so much.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
know.
It's not even you anymore.
Yeah, I know. And then I know. And then well, like I did when I start, and then like after when, so fast forward, and that's when I started. After I went back to the second year, and I was graduated at the time, and soon to be graduated, and then I was starting hustling. Hustling, you know, by just work, by getting in the job, and I was spending time at the and by that point I was just spending time at the mall,
right,
a lot, and
right,
because you know, weekdays I'm in school, and weekends I'm in the flea market in the mall,
right,
and I
used to see you at the mall all the time when I worked at Best Buy.
But prior to
even before that,
but prior to that, I was kind of in there, and then and that's how prior to that I was going in there. And then I was going there and also going to Guitar Center too.
Right.
And that's how I knew about. That's why I first seen that this is where you get all your equipment.
Right. And
then I didn't. You get the beat machine, and that's where I get the. You know, DJ equipment. I first walking in there. I didn't start going until like 2010.
Right.
And then I was like, I'm like, where this is where you get the equipment or something like that. I was just testing everything out. But at the time, I didn't have the bread to you know, just
to get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, to get it. So I had to I spent like a couple years just like, you know, just testing the machine and testing and like and testing this shit out. And then I didn't and then as far as like the mall and everything, and then I started like, you know, like going there and then trying to do what I was supposed to do, and then, you know, what I do, and then I started having a job. I start, like, you know, get myself settled, and then the time I was in the mall, I was visiting my friend who was working the mall at the time, and then like once after I was seeing her, you know, I stopped at the Best Buy, and this is before you came in, and I bought this software where you can make beats, because back then I still had was Magic.
Okay, yeah, Magic.
Yeah, I used Magic Music Maker, and then that was the time I had my first check for my job, right. And that's when I started. It was like $60 for
what was it? What was it called?
What?
The program you bought, what was it called?
Magic Music Maker.
It was you bought Magic then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying you were using Magic before that, and then you got something else on.
Well, I didn't get. Well, we get to that. Like,
Okay.
so, well, I didn't get. So, Magic was the first program I used
Right.
to make the beats. So when I came home, I downloaded, I installed it, and so I kind of like, you know, so I already got samples and drum breaks. Everything is all prepared.
Right.
You know,
It's already there.
yeah, it was already prepared for me to learn how to structure like the beats myself.
Mm-hmm.
Once I started learning how, like, you know, do the way I can do, and then that's like, I'm like, oh shit, now I got something. So I've been on the computer and make like couple like 50, 60. I spent all year with the beats ever since then.
Right. Gotcha.
And that's what I kind of like evolved to me being beats during like this is 2011, by the way. And I really got busy one with the beats.
Gotcha. Okay. What was the next program you got, or what are you using now?
I use MPC Studio.
MPC Studio, nice.
Yeah, I didn't start by that. I didn't start by that until like 2016.
You didn't get it until 2016?
Nope, I didn't get it until 2016 because the times I was being you, I had no machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started like because all the beats you hearing now was through MPC Studio. The only time I use Magic is like some samples or some songs I want to add, like, you know, or songs I want to add it, like when add like, you know, some editing process to it. So like and then I just kind of like use it as more like a backup programmer now.
Okay, gotcha.
And then that's what I did, and then what I used. The times I was the time I was making beats, I wasn't thinking about like producing artists at the time. It was just only gonna be me and my MC.
Right.
Cause at this time he was already like he was already left Buffalo by that time because he was really going through some really crazy shit during then, and because he was in Ohio while I was trying to process myself what I was gonna do.
Right.
And then I was kind of like sending the beats to him, trying to get him, because he had a studio, because he knows somebody got a studio.
Yeah.
But at the time, like, people was trying to like fronting on him, and then they trying to go with what was out. During,
of course,
I was out during then, and, and then they trying to like fronting on him, and that kind of like a little wasted that kind of wasted a lot of time. I used to call him back like and see how they come along, and then project come along, and then that shit had never really didn't go on where we're going, and then. And that's how, and then I didn't. Then I was still making the beats during then, and then I wasn't, because I mean, you gotta think, who would I know? Who would I know at the time who would do music around here? Like this is like early 2012, like 2011, 2012. I was still doing it, but not like, you know, being out there.
Right.
I didn't start going shows. So I didn't start going shows until like 2014.
Right. And so that's what we're going to circle back to, which is dope that you brought that back up. 2014, what was like the first event, or how did you break into getting into the local scene? Because now you're pretty much embedded in it and have like a name in the local scene.
I met I met Brennan while I was at the record theater.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I met I met Brennan while I was at record theater. Like,
shout out Brennan.
Yeah,
Studios.
Yeah, I kind of I met him like 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, this is before I started coming around.
So
like he was so I told him, you know, I met him, like, you know, he was like you do music, like, so Music because I saw that he picked up the Buckshot and Knife Runner album Chemistry
Right.
on vinyl, and that's what that was crazy that now that when he was in Brooklyn, like 2 years later, he did some intern for Duck Down,
Right.
and that's so and that was so and it was crazy how all come together. So at the time, I met him, and we come a little so we kind of exchanged numbers and see what was going, and I was and then I met this other dude who was he was a good friend. I went to the program with this guy named Twan. Like I did my first placement through some kind of mixtape that he placed.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my placement then, but I was still unknown.
Right. Of course.
And then like unknown because he was already rapping by that time. And then once once I started like transition to where I was going to do because at this time I was already like like the solution what was going on at that point with like the friends I was rolling with and the job I was dealing with and family I was kind of do. So I kind of rebranded myself
right.
and start going out shows, and then that's when like one day I seen Brendan. He was telling me about some show going on in Broadway Joe's, and then I started going, and then this was like still middle 014, and that's when I start, and that's where I start going to Broadway Joe's at the this was like July, July summer. So he was, that's where I first crossed from there, and then that's where I met G Prom and individuals,
right.
with he had a team at the time,
right.
and Chucky Camel. That was like the first. Those were the first guys
that you met.
Yeah, that I met.
Yeah.
Around that and Electro Avenue was like the first like
right.
couple of events that I started like coming around, and since then I start going rolling with them, whatever they do. I start like going to like I start rolling my bike and then start going to like traveling around, like whether it's on the west side or north side or around the Maine.
Gotcha. Yeah, we would always see you rolling around in that area.
Yeah,
North Buffalo area.
That was a transition where I was doing.
Right. So from all that, meeting those guys, it was a good group of guys to meet and start off, knowing the Buffalo scene, G Prem, Chucky Campbell, the individuals in general, Brennan. How did you start getting your features together for your first project, which was the research?
Well, after when I was starting to get my name out there, I wanted to start presenting myself as a producer, because when one day like after I was starting like because one day I was like I was still making beats at this point. And I came up with the idea that I had this like idea to do the compilation album, and then because at this point a lot of my favorite producers that can do their own albums, and I can see myself like I can do my own album, and then one day when this is 5 years ago. This month, like
right.
So after I was coming to see y'all, and around that time I had a dental surgery, and my tooth pulled, and then one day I was like, I was laying down, trying to recover, and then the name, the research is kind of like just pops up in my head, and that's when like I came with the title, since then, And then as far as like getting the MCs going, I had to start meeting more guys that who was around the city at the point. So the older I had to like work with them, I had to start building with them.
Of course.
And then that's why I've been pushing myself real heavy to get going to shows and event.
Because at one point I'd go to a show, like a ton of shows, and you were at every single one.
Because like it was like we had a lot of venues at the time.
There was a lot of venues. You're right.
It was a lot of venues at the time. I mean, I still got tickets up there. That the shit y'all was open like in my bedroom.
I feel you.
And then, it was that was amazing time. And
that was an amazing couple years.
That was like. So I was like then at the same time I wasn't fucking around.
No,
because after what I went through, I was like, I knew where I was going, and then far like with the project wise, like I was like I made this like after when I named and that's when I met Matt Dukes before then at the DBGBs.
Yeah.
And I came across this beat. It was a rock on beat that it was like one of the last beats I did since 2014.
Okay.
And I have him on my mind that
like you could see him hopping on that.
Yeah, and then like and the beat I did was so like smooth, and then like because so smooth and jazzy feel, and then I kept that for that project for the longest.
Yeah.
And then that kind of and I approached him like I want to do this, and then once we didn't start, and then at that time I didn't have no home studio.
Right.
So big up to Elijah Hooks for we recorded my first song, because he had his own studio at the up on Forest at the time. It was Finger Lot, but even though now he's like in GCR.
Right.
But back then he was like he had his like own. It's more like a basement type of the studio.
Right.
And then we was just like me and Dukes was in like the studio. It was after I got off of work, and then we were just there, and then we knocked that shit out during like a middle 2000.
Right.
No, I mean actually middle 2015.
Right.
And that was the first song I ever did, and then I did that, and of course I did definitely the MC with this Monstro program, and of course then my cousin and that's where the Summer 16 song was was added in there, and then I had all this whole bunch of other songs that I was working on.
Right.
Even though the problem was that trying to find where the proper studio was get me what was going, and then the only last couple of songs that kind of was kind of saving, and we still forming to this day. It was the Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski with Fridge Giant.
Oh right. Okay.
And,
right.
And of course we're gonna get to the
definitely for sure.
So that was the first. That kind of sets off with the project. So
is that the first time you link with Frigid?
Prior to that.
Okay, we'll get into that.
Prior to that. So we doing the research was dope. It was more like a beginning process, because I dropped it on my birthday 2017.
Yeah.
I had an amazing run, and then that kind of transition for me at this time point, I was already doing my own shows, and playing live beats, and I had an MPC at the time, and then I had and I was featured on the Public, and then I was
that was big for you, right?
Yeah, I was featured on the
Public.
That was
dope.
Yeah, and then and that kind of transition, and then that kind of made me want to go out of town and go to New York City more. And I do want to talk about that, though. So
yeah, of course.
and so the research is definitely it's one of the best thing that I want to do with it. And I'm planning on I'm planning on remaster it this year coming up.
Okay.
Because I'll be turning 30.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be turning 30 on May 20th, and it's gonna be 3 years.
Right.
So I'm working on so it's definitely in process that I want to we get things like remix and remaster the whole thing, cause that way the fans don't even know, because even though this new product I'm about to drop, like they'll get to know what I did before.
Right. That's a good callback to rehash that,
right,
and then move forward, of course, with the decade. Why do you call them stories, your songs?
Well, I was wondering, like, instead of calling, like, I was really on some book. I was kind of like a more like a book feel, because at the time, like, I didn't want to call it feature something or co-starring
Right.
co-starring with something, because like when I did the research, it was like I was trying to have the book feel,
Right.
because for dictionary or it's like a story
Makes sense with the research. You researching books, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go about, like, it's like you writing a chapter or writing a script or something like that.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to, like, try to find my own, like, identity. It's like, just writing the book, and it'll tell whoever on it, and then while I'm kind of like whoever, like, it's like they wrote like you wrote the story,
Right.
and well put the page, and I'm just kind of like more like a publisher.
Right. You're the curator.
Yeah, curator.
Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, it's very unique. I just wanted to know why you did that. No rhyme or reason, really.
Right.
But when you talk about how you had that one beat and you felt like Mad Duke should get on this, is that how you pick all your features? Like, as far as, like, you hear a beat and it's like, yo, so-and-so should get on? Or, like, how do you go about doing that part of the research?
It was something that, like whatever, because I made like 20 or man of the beats that it made like I made like 20 or a couple beats that would fit to the research,
Mm-hmm.
because, like, because, like, I was, like I said, I was trying to build because I was trying to get to know the artist, right, first, and then I want kind of work on it. And at the same time, I had to do my research on them,
right?
Because I had a mixtapes and shit that they drop on the Bandcamp, what they did the before,
yeah,
and then I had to so I had to like the order had to work with them. I had to go to their backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that was so that's what basically I had to so that's what basically I had to get with them, and also they want to get with me for the beats that I wanted for the research, or mm-hmm, some of the beats I don't want that was not meant to be for for the tape.
Gotcha. When you talk about doing research on artists and things like that, if you follow Cee Gee online, anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you see that this man has a callback with almost every day for some album that's dropped. 23 years of so-and-so, 7 years of this. Like, how do you keep track of all that? Plus, you do it with games, too. How do you keep track of all that history? Because you're like a savant when it comes to this type of thing.
Well, well, it all came from, well, I don't know how that, still to this day, I don't know how that came about. Like,
I feel like you have every piece of music or game that's come out. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, me collecting has been my thing since I was a kid.
Okay, so you're a big collector in general.
Yeah, because on weekends, like, me and my mom was going to the yard sale,
right?
And
I got you.
And then and I mean, like going to yard sale, and then even though my brother was not interested, but me, my mom is.
Yeah.
We used to go because wherever she's not at work or where I'm not at school, we used to go like Saturday and go to different neighborhoods, and that's why I know about these other type of neighborhoods,
Right.
like before, like years before
Mm-hmm.
until now, and then that's when I started. That's why I started to go. Try to get familiar with these other places because, like, me, I'm an East Side nigga, right? And I was kind of like I was kind of a little bit like clueless about the other neighborhoods. I'm like, why is it so decent and clean? And then I wanted to, like, be there. So being those other type of sales, I always pick up like toys and some shirts and games.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how much you want to spend. But then me, Tristan, and then going to yard sale, and then to go to the flea market.
Flea market was big.
Yeah, I got so hooked on flea market, like,
hell yeah.
And then I picked everything that I grabbed, and then over the flea market, I still got all that shit in my barrel to this day.
Right.
Because that was it was so huge, and then like I grabbed everything from tapes to CDs to the games and the systems, and I just like go there like every weekend, and then and then just buy and dig, and then
right.
And then I had a song. I got a song title on my new record I'm about to drop.
Okay.
With the name's the Super Flea.
Super Flea. Okay. Dope. That's what's up, man. So that's really where you dug through, your yard sales and stuff like that in the flea market. Back in the day, I love yard sales. Me and my grandmother would go there and pick up literally everything.
Right.
So you hold on one second. Let me just get this back. That was the other question. How do you remember when all this stuff dropped?
I just been like kind of like just researching, or either research it or remember when those things when those albums came out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Even though I do remember when those albums came out, like during like 20 or 25, because I was already listening to music during that, by that point, but it was like certain records that I do know, or certain records I don't know, because it depends how far the promotion and the singles that was
of course, right,
was out, and then like I had to go back. I had to go back and like not only just thinking about like when was the first time you heard this, or first time, or what kind of drew your inspiration about like how did they came out, and as far as the games wise, which I do now, it's like the same thing. Even though the dates on the dates on the games is kind of a little bit different than the albums, because like regional reasons,
right?
Because like some dates it's like came out like Japan, or some comes out like around here. And I had to follow. I had to follow those. I'd like to follow what was out by then, and I want to kind of kept that like that going.
Okay. So when was your first time you went out to NYC?
During I was in the research. Recording the research. I did me and my sister, my mom, and my niece. We was just out there because at the time my niece was going to school in Brooklyn, and I took my little bit. I was just like starting to get to know. And like I spent, because initially we would just spend a weekend over there, and but like but we kind of extended to like 2 more days.
Okay.
So I was just kind of looking around. We stay in like Brownstone, Brooklyn, and then I was just there, just like trying to see what was the vibe, or what was it look like, and then shit was very different than the like around here.
For sure. Yeah, yeah.
That was my first time I ever been, and then I knew one day that I'm planning on coming back over there. But my last stop that I was in Brooklyn back in like 2015 was when the Sean Price mural.
Right.
Yeah, the Sean Price mural, because that's when he was passed at the time.
Right.
And then that was like the last stop that I did before me and my sister and like drove back home.
Okay.
And then after when I came like almost 2 years later when after I dropped my album, I knew like I want to start like branch myself outside from here.
Mm-hmm.
And then like and at this point Brennan was back and forth from
yeah, he's bouncing between these two cities.
Yeah, around two cities. And then he was telling me about what's going on out there. So it was just like one show they was having up on Brooklyn Bowl.
Okay.
Called it was a Sean Price. That was when he was dropping this album, and Imperious Rex.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Brooklyn Bowl, and I Greyhound over there, and then I stayed at this place up in Brooklyn, and then I was trying to go around and the places, and I was in Queens when I saw the Fife street sign
mm-hmm.
at in Linden Boulevard,
mm-hmm.
and then I was at the and when I was at the show at the in New York City, like I've been seeing a lot of legendary rappers and producers, DJs out there, because I felt like I was belonged there,
right?
Because
felt like home to you.
Yeah, it was home for me, and then like cause like I'm like where I'm surrounded with all these some ill motherfuckers,
right,
and then because my main reason for me going there, well, because at the because at that time, because you never know who else will be coming here to perform, and I can't just wait like another like 4 or 3 months
right. See the next person.
See the next person in the Buffalo. So
right.
I had to start like I had to start branching myself out there.
That makes sense.
To see them.
Right.
So I was just like see them, and at this particular time, that's when Weston Khan just signed the deal
right
with Shady.
Right.
And that was like that was kind of like a bigger move. That was considered like and that's when I saw where the city was going.
Mm-hmm.
And I started going like so after I was going in New York City, I kind of started going like there more, and then
right.
I started like building with artists and trying to get familiar with the neighborhood and trying to build on artists. And I was just over there this past weekend.
Right. Yeah, for the Rock Marcy show, right?
Yeah, Rock Marcy show, and I was there for the Sean Price of Fame album release at the SOBs.
Okay.
And then and of course the Lyrics Lounge holiday party.
Okay. How were that?
Oh, it was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mad fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course and also the reason I'm there is like buying records and buy like games.
Yeah.
Cause that was a time that like it was during the time when record theater was coming to the end.
Mm-hmm.
and then I noticed the fact that I want to buy like start going out of town and just taking records.
Yeah.
Even though I had to put bread I had to put up the bread for go out of town for to grab them, and that's when like so New York so going to New York was definitely one of the it's considered my second home,
right?
And plus, traveling has been my thing since I was a kid, because like it was more like a family tradition when my dad was alive at the time, and then it was me, my dad, and my mom and my brother. We were just going we were just there for family reunions and all that other shit, and then like we was just there most of it every year. Like my most notable trips I went was going to West Coast.
Okay.
In 2001.
Okay.
Yep, and yep, I was in LA, I was in Vegas, and I was in Arizona.
Oh wow, okay.
Yep,
I really went to the West.
Yeah, I was there, and the most eerie thing about going there was I was there before that disaster happened in New York.
9/11.
Yep, I was
right.
yeah, because I flew because we flew the West in like July.
Okay.
01.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then shit happened in September.
Yeah.
Even between Aaliyah died in like August.
Damn, that did happen the same year, didn't it?
Yeah, it happened the same year. It did happen around.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it did happen around at the same time. But saying it was just like that was like the eeriest time I was. Yeah, it was been for me.
Right.
So so that was the only time I ever been in a plane.
That was the only time?
Yeah, it was the only time because most of the time we drove.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that was the only time. Most of the time we would just drove. Like I even want to go back to the West right now.
I feel you.
Yeah, I really want. I really want to go back because I want to see how what difference how it was 18 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, so that's about my bucket list, and then me going to, and then plus going to the. Yeah, so every year we were going, and a reason why we kind of stopped in the middle 2000 because my dad's was getting sick.
Yeah.
And then and then he died 08, and then that traveling has been kind of like a little bit of loss.
Gotcha.
And then
took the back burner.
I did took a little back burner for that, and I did travel a little bit, but not how it used to be. So getting back to traveling on my own. I've traveled on my own, by the way. So it was kind of like a not easy thing I did, but I got comfortable.
Right, just getting out there.
Yeah, get out there because it was something kind of my dad wanted, and also I wasn't worried about who wants to come with me anyway.
Right, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really wait for people anymore. So you met a ton of legends. You met a lot of people in general in this music thing. Who would you say was the most who had the most impact on you? And then who were you most excited to meet? And then who do you want to meet that you haven't met yet? Just 3 people.
Let's see. I do want to meet Q-Tip.
Right.
Even though I did see him. I do want to meet Knife Wonder.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Because I do want to meet him. I do want to meet it's like it's crazy. Also the RZA.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the RZA. Like it was crazy that I did see RZA at the Staten Island.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see RZA at the when they was put the street sign at the street sign up on it. When they put they came up their own street.
Right. What was it? Wu-Tang Boulevard?
Wu-Tang Clan District.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was there because the last time I was in New York, which is like back in May, I didn't know nothing about it. So it was like once I came in there. Once I came in there, I was like I went to the and then I seen RZA pulled up.
Wizza or RZA?
RZA.
Okay, all right. Because we got a Wiz out here too. I didn't know if you were talking about him.
Yeah, I didn't know so I met so I seen him at the pull up,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I was like, oh, I'm like, oh shit, this well, cause cause yeah, so that's three, my top three in the producers I wanted, like, it's in my bucket list.
Right. Who were you most excited to meet that you did meet?
DJ Premier.
Premier, yeah.
Yeah, DJ Premier.
That's what's up.
Yeah, DJ Premier was the most exciting things. I'm like, damn, I was just like, cause the times I was listening Gangstar, and then of course like all the production he was that he did like the classic albums he did,
Mm-hmm.
but Premier and Pete Rock too.
Right.
Yeah, those was my biggest two guys that I meet.
Got you.
That who I'm inspired to.
Nice. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You said that earlier. You were inspired by these two guys,
right?
And then Ninth Wonder's on your list to meet too.
Who wants to meet?
And Tib.
Yep.
Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah. He wants to meet though. Like, even though I did meet a lot of rappers that who I was listening to.
Yeah.
But I was kind of considered on the production circle, and also DJ too.
Mm-hmm. Who had the most impact on you that you met? Who might have said something to you as far as like advice or something like that?
Damn, I haven't got a chance to. I haven't got a chance to get on that, like, because I was still unknown.
Right.
But I want to kind of like, because at this particular time I was still unknown,
mm-hmm.
About like who I want to do. But I haven't. If I want him, but I do want like either Primo or Pete or somebody, or so just drop some gems
right.
with me.
Well, I mean, like, have you met anybody that did drop gems on you yet? Like, have you got the chance to like talk to any of these guys? Like, not just producers, maybe rappers.
Well, I do. I mean, cause I'm not that much like a huge talker myself. It's just like I get a little bit starstruck about like who I'm surrounded, like, cause like at this point, like I'm used to listen to these fuckers. So now I'm seeing
now
it.
You're right next to him.
Yeah, I'm right next to them. Right. It was just like next to them, and then now like now the doors is kind of open for me, because now the doors is kind of open for me, especially open for me, especially what I did with with somebody who we haven't discussed yet.
Right.
And then but it'll come by 2020.
For sure. Okay, got you. So you said you want to go to LA, or you just want to go back to the West Coast to see how it changed and everything. Is there anywhere else that you want to go musically and like try to like check out the scene?
Well, I did went to the Toronto one time. Okay. I did went to Toronto one time.
How do you like Toronto?
It was kind of like how I feel like I'm in the it's like how it is in the New York City.
Got you.
But I was there with I was there one time with this one me Frigid, because we had because we did a show there, and we kind of connected through Fresh Kills.
Okay.
Yeah, we got we did a it was Fresh Kills that kind of like put together.
Okay.
And big up to him, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to him.
So he was it was around so yeah, we did like on one set over there, and then that was actually the one time I wanted to be in Toronto, and I kind of want to be there more.
Mm-hmm. It is right there.
Right.
It's like an hour, right?
Well, 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
Yeah, 2 hours ago.
I haven't been to Canada in years. I don't know. So you talked about that going up there with Frigid Giant. So since we're already on that, let's talk about how you guys linked up in the first place and then eventually became Green Giant and did that project.
We met. Me and Frigid met like during my heyday of me and the scene, because I mean we first like Frigid come across me when like I was rolling with Dukes,
right?
Because this is when we had a song out at the time, and then he might saw me at the DBGBs, and then when he firstly met at the Electric Avenue, because this is when he was having those monthly those monthly events.
I remember when he was doing those. Yeah.
Yeah, those monthly events. Or there, and then we'll get that in a second. And then because Duke still was on the bill on the show because we were supposed to perform on that night because we had a song out at the time. I want to have him on that set list, and then he didn't do that, but me and Frederick did it, and then even though I want to talk about that, so even that the next time I saw him was that one show that it was him, you, and Kari.
Genesis. Or who'd you say?
No, it was you. It was him, you, at the Electric Ave.
Oh, for Ray Strife. Was that the show you're talking about?
No, this is Electric Avenue for the was it him or no, this is Electric Avenue. We was Electric Avenue at the when this was like 2015.
Yeah. That's the only time I performed at Electric Avenue.
Because that was that night that that fool knocked that shit out, bro.
Yes. That was it. Yep.
Just knocked the shit.
Dude, yo, he was about to get whooped. They were pissed.
Oh yeah.
He came and snatched that right off. It's football. Football's on.
Yeah, that was a football night.
Listen, old man. These boys about to stomp your ass in.
That was a fucked up night right there. Oh, yeah, I did remember that, cause y'all was on the same, y'all were performing that day,
right?
And then I got that whole set right there,
yeah, that was fun.
And mind you, I have not done shows, not this moment yet. If we could, lucky that if somebody would come across my my set and try to break my shit,
oh yeah, no.
I'll go off.
Oh no.
He might have to pay. He might have to pay a nigga like $300, $400
to either that or you gonna pay in teeth.
Fuck that.
Oh.
So fast forward, after when we was interested to do collab, and then that's how, and then collab, because he was already doing a project with somebody that on that was it was right between the instrumental album and my from my Cold Dead Hand my Cold Dead Hands the tape he did the last rap album he did, and then that was already out, and then so after I had a beat machine, so he was kind of count on what I was going to do. So I saw him one time, and that's when Dinku came in. Dinku came to Buffalo, and then we was just talking about doing the song, and that kind of ended up to be Big Lamosky.
Okay.
And that was the first actual record we did together, and that was the first one we recorded in 2017. And then he texted me one day, and it said that Green Giant. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like Green Giant. I'm like, it makes sense because my last name is Green, and then his name is Giant, and so that kind of formed the group.
Right.
And then we started working on this album. We started working on the album in between, towards the end of the research and afterwards. Mm-hmm. We were just because we did the intro and the Coldest at his old house. The beat we did, and then we performing it we pre-forming it in a couple of times, mm-hmm. but not recorded. Not just yet. And then we didn't start getting in the studio until November 2017. And then we approached. I kind of approached DJ Shay to be the head engineer, because at the time like at the time when because I was already recorded a project with me and my MC, because after we had a thing going on with the that at the time was SBA, Supreme Black Aces.
Right.
We was like because after we did 3 mixtapes, and then he was already back in town, and that we had a thing going on with going to the studio, and we did record. We originally recorded at Drop D's studio, but at the time, Drop D was kind of like was so busy with DJing, and my partner was having a lot of shit going on, so we kind of stepped off of the recording for a bit. And I was a little bit processing with my next album at that point. So I decided on me and Frigido to do just knock the whole project out, and I kind of approached and also I didn't have a studio for me to record at this moment yet. So I found Shay, studio to do, because he had a little better deals for recording.
Right.
So I kind of like so he did so I kind of like how the proper way to just used that, and then the Coldest and the intro was like one of the first songs we actually recorded.
Yeah.
And then most of the time, like we did like 7 out of 8 songs through him, and then that one song, Blue Dreams, with Genesis and Matt Dukes, was through Tony Boy.
Gotcha.
And that was and that song, that song was a really crazy session for me to
the Blue Dreams one.
Yeah, the Blue Dreams was the craziest. Was a wild session because initially Shay was supposed to be recorded, but at the time, the lights, the power kind of went out, and because it was me and Frigid was on the way to the lab, and he pulled up, and Genesis did too, and then Brendan had because the original Bridge studio was in downtown,
right?
And then we was there at the time, and then we had to and then we had to go to the over there to do Cav's vocals and Genesis vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Dukes was supposed to be show up, but but he didn't, because he was kind of like in between, with his job, he was working at the time, and also he was on his comedy shit,
right.
During that point,
mm-hmm.
and we was trying to get him on. He almost didn't make it to the song. He almost didn't, but then soon when and then I ended up get him on to do his part, because we had a song off of my new record to record too, and that kind of that kind of finished the Blue Dreams, and the same thing with the video.
Really?
The same thing with the video, even though, because that was a while too, even though Dukes didn't show the video.
Oh, really?
No, because if you watch the video, because he was the last person to rap on the record.
On the right.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah, he's the last one rapping on the yeah, he's the last one rapping on the record, and then that's because Fritcher was first, Genesis was second, and then Dukes was next, and then we and that was the first time we because we did the video, and then before that was the second video, by the way. The first one we did was the Coldest.
The Coldest, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. We're gonna let's play that, because we like to play music on here. It's a music podcast, thing like that. So we'll play that now, and then I'll put the video in the video portion of the Why am I drawing a blank? The vlog, podcast, video version, whatever you want to say.
Right.
So this is Green Giant, Genesis, and Mad Duke's still on this song, right? Or did you cut it out for this video?
Not on the video version.
Okay, fine. So Green Giant and Genesis, Blue Dreams.
Yo. Yo. Murder mics and I scrap the components. Matter of fact, I out-rap my opponents. This gas is potent. Learn rap from packing bags. Now factor in the quotient. Flow is lax like the ocean. Braggadocious. Calvin Brodus. Murder was the case and the case was left open. All praises due. We made it to the next chapter. Cause next chatter, then text splatter. Brow. I got blue dreams and Reggie nightmares. You want a shoestring. And no, we don't fight fair. I'm a mix of Snake Plissken and Snake from The Simpsons. You debated your position. I orchestrated my vision. I slid just the tipping. The chick is saying more cock. I wouldn't touch your girl. There's not enough Clorox. Got a gem between my eyes. Adam fucking Warlock. Keep it underground like a Morlock. But there's more to the plot. I've been on this road I'm on, though I might die. I can count on all my hands the time I've cried. I'm prepared to own my fate. I know I'm bright. I've been at an all-time low, but I'm all-time high. I've been on this road I'm on, though I might die. I can count on all my hands the time I've cried. I'm prepared to own my fate. I know I'm bright. I've been at an all-time low, but I'm all-time high. Originality's opposer's worst enemy. Massive disservice to the masses, there's no energy. Generations fighting a war with foes' enmity. So when you try to cut them in half, there's no symmetry. See, I've been sent across the earth as a prophet. Mission to dissolve all the evil, they won't stop it. Teaching youth the truth about where they from and they going. Trying to plant the seeds of wisdom, opposers can't stop from growing. This is opus of Genesis, I'm floating on a Nimbus cloud. What he be saying got them floating like a hitter line. Speakers be blowing, supercharging from the spirit. Bombing them seeds to PCs, heritors cannot hear it. I fear the worst for the generation to come. The past and take with them knowledge, ignorance keep them dumb. Turn away from the truth and then they settle with imposters. Magazines set up the draft just to leave us with losing rosters. I've been on this road I'm on, though I might die. I can count on all my hands the time I've cried. I'm prepared to own my fate. I know I'm bright. I've been at an all-time low, but I'm all-time high. I've been on this road I'm on, though I might die. I can count on all my hands the time I've cried. I'm prepared to own my fate. I know I'm bright. I've been at an all-time low, but I'm all-time high.
All right, that was Blue Dreams off the Green Giant album. Let me stop that before it starts playing. God damn it. You want to do the Coldest too?
Yep.
Let's go right into this. This is the Coldest.
I'm from the streets, doing what I'm supposed to. By far the coldest. Run with me and I will make you a star. Make you a star. From the streets, doing what I'm supposed to. By far the coldest. Run with me and I will make you a star.
Yo. I only drink pop to make Kevorkians. Heavy ordinance, count my midichlorians. For me, the horniest, haunted in the hornet's nest. For me, I'm Ori with the horde, showing more than flesh. Don't let your story be forward, I'll be more impressed. I want the glory, 3 stories in the mortgage set. Knee deep in orgies with some shorties in the Florence wet. We eating porgies out the quarry, I got Gorgon breath. Yo, sometimes I blow smoke into my fish tank. Sit back and then I wonder what those fish think. And that line should fucking tell you that this shit stink. So stop acting like a shit stain. Yo, I'm 17, pass the mic to large professor. I'm like your whole entire squad, except I'm fresher. I'm getting looks and that's good, I like the pressure. So bring in stretches, cause my lectures be like lectures, yo.
From the streets, doing what I'm supposed to. By far the coldest. Run with me and I will make you a star. Make you a star. From the streets, doing what I'm supposed to. By far the coldest.
Green Giant.
Make you you a star.
Drugs tested, motherfuckers approved. Spill blood on my apron, I can't get it off my shoe. I go into the booth, I come out like Superman. Y'all go into the booth, then you just come out your closet. Y'all need to stop it, can't even use your logic. Mumbling like you got punched up in your cockpit. I came from nothing, now look how lavish I exist. Rap so raw, they came with gas and some clips. These new cats came with 2 snaps and a kiss. I'm in Amsterdam, puffing lemon haze, cannabis, man and ships. I'm talking coastal sands that have no grit. Eating fresh squid with the lime squeezed over top of it. Rocket ships, they need rocket fuel. I'll be chopping boulders with the Bowie knife. Y'all know this life, frigid getting hype. You peeping with the cattle, I'm living in the light. Y'all just creeping in my shadow, yo.
From the street, doing what I'm supposed to. By far the coldest. Run with me and I'ma make you a star. Make you a star. From the street, doing what I'm supposed to. By far the coldest. Run with me and I'ma make you a star. Make you a star.
All right, and that was the Coldest. That was on the album, right?
Yep.
On Green Giant. That's on all streaming sites, yeah.
Well, I gotta talk to Bridget about the. Well, it was on Bandcamp and SoundCloud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're looking for it, I'll put the link in the description for the SoundCloud link to that album, so people can go get that. And Bandcamp, I'll put Bandcamp too.
Yeah, but it's on Frigid.
It's on his page.
Yeah. He's on. Yeah, he's on the. Yeah, it's on Bandcamp though.
Okay. Dope. Yeah, those were fire, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen those videos like in a mad minute.
Yeah. So talk about linking with Frigid Giant in the city. Have you had any like criticisms or like hurdles you had to overcome yourself to continue to do what you love out here?
Well, like, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, everybody sees rain at some point. As far as like in your career, I don't know if did you come across that yet, or maybe you haven't.
Well, you know, like me being around, well, you know, me being around, it was like, me being around that, it was kind of a little bit criticism, but I didn't get to that till like, I didn't get to that till like a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of noticed a lot of misconceptions going around here.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, like, cause I kind of noticed that like when the early days in the scene, it was kind of like we had the shows running.
Right.
But now, like, you know, everything is starting like, you know,
it's kind of scarce. There's like 3 venues.
Yeah, like 3 venues, and artists is kind of getting a little bit lazy, and then not even one, and a lot of egos.
Oh, sure.
A lot of egos is starting around, and then I was already like, you know, and I was already like, you know. And I started to notice that like in the past like almost 2 years, even though I started to notice that around like 2018 and 2019, that's when like, you know, how they acting or how they looking like
You mean like artists?
Not just artists, but
everyone.
Most everyone. Like, but it was just kind of like
right. Yeah, I didn't mean to say like every single person, but like.
But
artists, producers,
because you know like because like, you know, because a lot of things because like, you know, we're kind of like on the epidemic of hating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we were starting. Because when I dropped because after I dropped the research, like I started to notice that a little bit changing around, and a little bit criticism, and then. Because when I was on this radio show called Rebel Radio 716.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, big up to them. So that was 2 days before I was on the album. I dropped the album, and then
the research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So afterwards, that somebody was online was kind of like I got tagged in it, and then someone was trying trying to shit on my boys and talk about that not get a platform and not for the culture or something like that. And then they
Really?
Yeah.
They were talking about Rebel Radio like that?
Well, yeah, like, well, yeah. And then because I had yeah, this was like yeah, because I have guys come to me, and this is like during my birthday weekend, like by the way. So I had guys come to me and about like because you know I don't know if you ever listen to the show because the things is that because like they try to do things like on the underground hip hop away, but not just around like Buffalo music, but it's also like Rochester, all different.
Right, like Western New York.
Yeah, so that's what basically was the whole thing, and then that kind of like and then I had people like coming across me and about it, and then like and then the dude, and I had some guy that who was feeling the research that like you know like he came to me that he was feeling the beats. But he was saying about the artist.
Yo, I remember that. I remember saying he was like, "Yo, I like these beats, but all the artists you chose were trash." And I was just like, oh, "I'm on there." that was a crazy little. Yeah, okay. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that kind of like a little bit like. I mean, I put a lot of work in it, and then
it wasn't a knock on you.
It wasn't knocking on me, but it was kind of like a
kind of.
But it was a kind of, and then and all of a sudden like it was kind of knocking on me, and then you know since then I want to start putting like you know I feel like I want to start getting a little bit and then you know I try to get a little bit placements now, and then you know all of a sudden I get snubbed and. I get a little bit snubbed on like placements I want to get to. I get snubbed on the shows I want to.
Do you want to go to?
Well, I want to do because I'm seeing the show, but now I want to be in the show.
Right.
But they haven't really like I haven't got reached in the tour of that. So that was kind of a little bit like I get a little bit like he's a little bit like antsy about like not being like you know. Around the past 2 years, and that was the reason that this new record that I'm working on is kind of like a little bit like that's the reason that this new record I'm on is kind of a little bit like insert a lot of things I kind of went through, and all the beats you hearing like today is kind of all the situation that I'm going through, and that what led up to me. That's what led up to the beat I did for West Side Gun.
Right. So let's get into that right there. You were placed on Hitler Wears Hermes 7 with the track Broadway Joes, right? West Side Gun's latest effort by himself. And then of course you had What Would Sheen Gun Do, the album from the whole group, but that project. First of all, talk about how you even like linked up with West Side Gun, how you met him, all that, because there was a picture. What was it, like 5 years ago?
Yep.
When you and him first met.
Yep.
And then now you look at each other now. You just saw him again in New York, and you took another picture. It was like a 5 year
and also I was at the show.
Yeah, and you were at the show too. So talk about how you met him, and then you know just lead into
how the formation of Griselda.
Yeah, how you got in that placement?
Well, like I met West Side Gun since like you know the same time, like 2014.
Right.
It was after I come the show I did, and the same time when I was coming across stuff, I was putting my album together. I want to see who else is out there. So I was already friends with G since like on Facebook, like a year before. But I wasn't come across the things that it was done, and then knowing that he had an album release party for the Hitler 3. He already did like 2 already.
Yeah.
And then 2 already. So like it was this club that used to be on Washington Street. I think it was with Pulse or Imperial.
Okay, yeah. That sounds familiar.
And then I was rolled down there. This was like almost a week before the holiday, and then like I was there, and he brought Scott Zoo in town, and then I was like one of the few guys that knew about Scott Zoo.
Yeah.
Because I was so big on him at the time, and then seeing him in person, that kind of that was another starstruck too.
Yeah.
So I seen him in person, and I was trying to get to know like what's like Gun, and then that's the first day I seen Conway, and then I didn't even knew, and I didn't know about what happened to him by him getting shot, like and all, and then I was and I met Derringer that day, and well, actually I already knew Derringer like prior, because I used to see him at DBGB's or in Hardware, because he was DJing around the alley at the time. And not knowing, because I knew him as a DJ, but I didn't know he was making beats at the point. And then I saw, because he was spinning around that day, that night, and then we was listening to the music, and then we approached, we was talking about doing music with each other, and we got, now I was got to know, I was meeting Scott Zoo, I was starting building up. Me and Wes and the crew have been building since then. But at the time, like I was brand new to the scene. They was about to be brand new to the industry.
Right.
And then it was like industry. Like, and not knowing that Wes was staying in Atlanta, I've been seeing Conway and Derringer here more.
Right.
And and hear more, and then this is when the Reject 2 was soon to be come together, and then he already dropped the first one, and I brought that too, because I brought that too, because I got a lot of original shit that they did from the early the early Griseldas I did, with the exception of the two Hillers.
Right.
So I have the early materials in my collections, and then collected. I was building at Conway more than the West, because he was in Atlanta at a point, and then I was trying to build him more, and then even Benny, who he wasn't officially part of Griselda yet, because I was already met him around 2015, and then so I was building with him, and then him. I was only a few guys that got the. I heard Reject 2 early on, because I brought it on the day they came out on Halloween, and then because the nigga pulled up my house.
Oh, word.
Yeah, he pulled up my house, and then I copped the CD with him.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he pulled up my house, and then copped the, because where he comes from, May Block and Floss Ave.
Right.
It's not too far. It's like a couple minutes from each other.
Right.
And then the same thing with Montana Ave too, with Benny.
Yeah, it was all in that same area.
Yeah, because Genesee is and Floss Ave, even though I'm from Delavan, but it's around that area too.
Right.
So that so we had a lot of mutual respect, and then mutual connection, and then and then knowing, and then seeing West just dropped Fly God, and I brought I already brought a couple of vinyls, and I brought and then I didn't start buying shirts till a little later, and then seeing and seeing the shows, and I didn't start seeing them perform until Conway put together the Halloween show at the Mohawk.
Right.
This is when I brought my partner in cause he ain't see these niggas in years. Cause he was telling me about like I said before.
Right. He was telling you about Benny.
But he was telling me these niggas early on. But cause he haven't been seeing them in years. And when I started connecting with them, I had to bring them along. To be reunited to them. So that kind of that was a dope night. Status Selector came was a DJ that night. That was his first time in the Buffalo, and he brought Mayhem Luan, and he brought Prodigy.
Oh, I do remember that show. Yeah, that was a big show for us.
He brought Prodigy. That I even saw Mobb Deep perform like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually 2, and I've seen Prodigy perform. Like, this is before he was passed.
Yeah.
So I did have opportunity to. I was this close about meeting him. I did saw him on stage.
Right.
So God bless. So I did. I saw him perform, and then I did. And then knowing that Benny about to be dropping. Officially joining Griselda, and then of course signing Shady Deal. That was a huge game changing right there
for sure.
And then I saw that, and then I ended up knowing I've been bigger supporter for them, and then I kept on everything they drop, I just try to cop as much as physical. I've been buying physical more than vinyls,
right?
Because the shit is been sold out.
Right. Yeah, that stuff sold out very fast.
Very fast. I try to cop everything that I want to grab. I got about 8 or 10 out of I lost count how many catalogs they drop. Because I got about
so many.
Yeah. I got one which is I'm including that's on pre-order right now. And then so I got most of that having the collections, and then at the same time I haven't even got I haven't got any beats for them yet. Cause I was just still making it, and then fast forward once when he was starting I was already making beats, but a little bit grimier sound now,
right? And
I was starting to get a little bit I really got busy with the making it the beats, and then it was one day when one day I was at this day party that Westside Gun was throwing because he was dropping Fly Guys of Awesome God at the time,
which was this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was this year, and I was
dope album, by the way.
Yeah, it was dope as it came out the same time as Plugs.
Yeah.
It came out
around June time period.
Well, July.
Or July, yeah.
Yeah, because it came out the day after
the
day after 4th of July.
Yeah.
And then the day party was the following weekend, and he was already in town by this point. So I ended up going there, just celebrating and get my mind off of what was that. Because at this time, I wasn't even mindset about what was going on. Because after shit I went through with somebody that almost tried to sabotage my career, and then
someone tried to sabotage your career.
What?
Really?
Somebody was talking shit about me online. And then,
oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, about online, and then because the beat I did was
that
done.
Was corny as hell, by the way.
Yeah, the beat I did.
I don't care.
The beat I did. The beat was done when the Plugs I Met came out. Before that.
Right.
But then that incident happened around the same time. And then I did a show. I was supposed to DJ for Keep Concept and Genesis, but somebody was trying to pull me off the DJ set list, and I got a little bit antsy, and at that weekend. That kind of
maybe I don't know what was going on. You want to talk about that?
No, I didn't want.
Tell me off.
Yeah, so I was so anyway anyhow after I was having a fucked up weekend,
right?
And then being that being in a club for a day party, that kind of chills everything
Right.
out. And then I gotta give salute to my homegirl Neff, who was associated with Gunna and them, like, and also a good friend of mine. She was like, she recommended me to do some beats for either Westside Gun or Conway or Benny.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm down with it, because I already got beats aside just in case that
they wanted it. You're right.
Yeah,
and Broadway just was one of them.
Well, I came across the G, because we was all partying all shit tonight. So yo, I got some beats. I'm gonna send. So like I'm gonna inbox. So I had to remind him to inbox, and I'm gonna send it to him, and then soon after, when so the day after that, like, I sent a couple joints for him, and then so he emailed me. So I emailed back, and then like a couple days later, or a week or two, he inboxed me back, and then he chose what he wanted chose, and then that's some really small talk shit, and then
Right.
and then like he chose when he wanted to rap, and then the beat's name is 845.
Okay.
And then like the title was kind of unknown yet, but then because I was I was totally off the scene at this point, and then scene at this point, so I was kind of like see where he was going with that, and then I didn't see Gun again until like when he was put together like a back to school giveaways.
Yeah.
Cause I was at the Living B store up on Kilmore.
Right.
And I see him, and then like and then this nigga just put up the phone with the song over my beat, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, I was like, I listened to it the first time. I'm like, like, I was just like, I was like, this shit is raw as
Right, you was vibing with it.
I was vibing with it, and then like, and then I was vibing with it, and then like, and then I kind of like, and the crazy thing is that I kept this whole thing to myself the whole time. I kept this whole thing to myself, like,
that's what's up.
And then like, cause I kept this whole thing to myself, and then knowing that, because I just got back, like, DJing and then gigs during that period, and then I had big gigs at that period, and then I had another show I was supposed to do, and then I had another show I was supposed to do that kind of fucked me up around that time too, and I didn't want to get to that either, and then because I was already about to be like, I was already about to be like, say, like, fuck about this whole scene.
Yeah.
And then,
really?
And then
off that one incident?
What?
Off that incident you were talking about, someone tried to like fuck with you?
Well, that and also I was supposed to play some beats for this one festival that I was going to do. This was like September, like the day after the 4th of July, and then, well, actually Friday the 13th. I was supposed to do it, but then like that was kind of behind the show, and then I was going to do it, but I didn't do my set, so I was kind of like a little threw off, and then I got tired and I'm sleeping, and mind you, I had to get back. I had to go back to work the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I took some time off for like music scene, and I didn't want to do it no. My thoughts, I didn't want to do it no more, and then once when like Gun was starting like was announcing that he's gonna do another Hitler 7. Now it's kind of my little bit like. My thoughts is that I'm gonna be on it, because I kind of kept this whole thing to myself.
Right.
And then when I saw the list, when I saw the track listing, like, it was the day when Benny had his plug show.
Yeah.
In here.
Right.
And which I was there for that too. And
Yeah, that was a dope show.
Yeah, that was a ill. That was the hardest show. And then
Yo, did we walk up there together?
Yep.
From Bridge.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. We was there. Yeah.
What a day that was for me. Jesus Christ.
Even though it was rainy as hell, but
it was raining. Yeah.
Yeah, it was rainy.
A wild ass day, boy.
It was rainy as fuck when it was there. I was so when I saw the list and my notification and comments has been like was.
You start lighting up.
Yeah, it did kind of lighten up. I was like, it did kind of lighten up. I was like, wow. I'm on a number 2, and then plus he named Broadway Joe's as the title because that was the first shit I ever that was the first place I stepped foot.
Went to, yeah.
I stepped foot like 5 years ago.
Right.
And B was telling me about this the spot like prior to then.
Mm-hmm.
And then and plus I didn't realize that how huge impact that place was, because I never got a chance to do the show there.
Right.
I never did. Like I never got a chance to do the show because it was starting to close down when a little bit later, and then I didn't realize that how huge impact for Gunn is too, because because he saw a little bit different impact of what the culture is. It's kind of how it is today, mm-hmm. with the whole like the backpacks and the whole.
Yeah, definitely.
That kind of brought the whole Zelda that came to be.
Right.
So I the album kind of like so the tape came out like the day we were supposed to get it on Halloween, but then it came out a little bit like a day. It makes sense to come out on Friday, mm-hmm. And that was like the game. That was like the game changer for me, because I was like I got mentioned on I was mentioned on the car test with Elliot Wilson,
right,
and then I got Pete Rock saying that it was a favorite song. I got like
did he really?
It was on the playlist because I was scrolling. I was like scrolling down. I seen the Hitler 7, and he had a star. He had a star as a favorite on the Broadway, because my shit is like the first thing you gonna hear. Well, here and then that kind of
the intro, which is Raekwon speaking.
Well, actually, drama.
And then it's. All right, yeah, I'm thinking of Sheen Gun. I'm thinking.
Well, and then Fly Guys also got because Raekwon was on like 2 projects.
Right.
But it was after
drama was talking first.
Yeah,
and then Broadway Joe's drops.
Yep, and then he put a star. And I'm like, wow, coming from the guy that who I was aspired. I haven't got a chance to tell him or meet him, but I did that.
Right.
Because when I started, because when after I got Skazu post that the song title that I was like, wow. And then and it had this dude I had this guy there who I'm about to link up that I'm doing music with named Manhattan. Mm-hmm. He tweeted that that's one of the rawest shit I ever did. And I was like, and then we started like that's when we started to link up.
Right.
And then like we met like we met at I was at the show last week.
Yeah.
And we met, like I did send him because initially I was supposed to when I was in New York I was initially going to like play a couple joints for him, but he was so like caught up with his schedule, right. So I kind of sent him back, and then he fuck with what I do. So like cause I was initially going to like meet up with him, but when I saw him at the show, and then show, then that's gonna be coming up too. So he tweeted that, and then like he tweeted that, and then I had like a couple because I had a couple guys that I don't know who else who tapped in, but they kind of like they they kind of tapped. They really kind of tapped into the shit I did with West.
Mm-hmm.
And even he brought and that was the first time he performing on the show.
Yeah. Oh, word.
Yeah, it's the first time because he never. I don't remember what he did. Cause he never did any shows now since the Hitler or the Machine Gun came out.
Yeah.
That was actually the first time he ever did. Even though he did something, but not as a build show.
Right.
So that was kind of like cause I knew that was going to be like I mean, I have like, cause I have terminology. Fuck with this shit I did. I had Marcy was saying the beat I did, it was so hard. Like, I'm like,
bro, legends.
I was like,
yeah, that had to feel great.
Yeah, it definitely will feel great, man. Like, I'm glad they kind of like, tune in to what I did, and then and plus they want to do something with me.
Wow. See, and that's how funny life is, right? You get tested, with someone trying to throw a wrench in what you're doing. You feel like you want to quit, and then right as you feel like that, the door swings right open for you.
Right.
And then everything that you've been working for these past 10 years, we'll say, 5 years, whatever you want to say, since 2014, it just comes to fruition. And I'm really happy for you for that, man.
It means a lot. And then
definitely.
And that's also like that was a great way, like to end my man this year was to get back on my feet, and also finish my new album, which I want to get to that.
Yeah, so let's get to it. So your new album coming up, it's called The Classical Gifted. Talk a little bit about that. How it's how everything is coming together for you.
Well, after I did the research, I always kind of debated on like, do I want to keep it going or just do beats? Because at this particular moment, working on the second album was never in my mindset at point.
Oh, really?
Nah, because I was already on point with like just doing group projects and collaboration. Because I was working on like my MC at the time. Because he with my involvement, because we had a studio, because we was already on point with the studio project that we was working on, and then me and Frigid was on point with the Green Giant like early on, and then we did the and then me and Program, like we were supposed to do the EP together, and then Jackie Camo, of course, and J Skis was on that list too. So I was everything was all rolling, by then. But at the time, everybody was all too busy, like either working on their own projects or some personal shit that they had to take care of.
Right.
And then so I kind of felt like I want to like do I have to do it at this particular moment that I didn't want to do another beat tape either, because my last official one at that point was the Tape Dynasty. Was that I kind of like I want to take some time off doing that and just working because I was dropping the research. So after I dropped the research, before a little bit of that, I decided to just came up. I decided to the name to start my follow up. And then that was, and then I already had beats I did for the second album, and but it wasn't there for me yet. So I start just start cooking some shit for the second album.
Word. Talk about some of the people you got on there. Who you got stories by this time? I seen Shut Eyes is on there. I seen Frigid Giant is on there again.
Right.
Who else?
I got this time I got Tony Boy. I got
Tony Boy's rapping on there.
Yep.
Dope.
And I got Jamal Gasol.
Okay.
And then I got Rick High.
Nice.
I got Sleep Sinatra. I got.
Who's that?
Sleep Sinatra.
That sounds like a cool ass name.
Sleep Sinatra is from Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's from Nebraska. Like he was featured on the Tony Boy's latest tape.
Word. Okay.
Ugly Luxury.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on. Yeah, he was on there. Then I had this guy named Magno Garcia, who was from Boston, and then I had some Rochester artists too. I got Golden, Volatile, B&A, who was Barbaric, and Elvis, who was one second third for Cast Off, and Corona P, who was they all come from Rochester.
Okay.
And then like I had I got Genesis on there too, nice. And then I got like Matt Dukes on return. I got Rapid Destroy. I got like Shauna B, who was and Cap Johnson, who Johnson, and plus I forgot my MC was on there too, and then in the league, and plus and Ooze Gang too.
Word.
Yep.
Stacked project you got coming.
Oh yeah. and oh yeah, I forgot Alex Anani too.
Okay.
Yeah.
When's that coming? Do you know?
January 27th.
January 27th, and then you got the listening party on the 25th.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. I'm the location is kind of to being announced.
Yeah, still working on the location, but you guys lock in January 25th. Stay tuned to Cee Gee's socials. I'm sure you're gonna put it up there, of course. Right. And then of course we'll share it too if it comes out before the this episode comes out. So we'll drop that in the comments or in the description, everything like that.
Right.
Cee Gee, man. It's been a great conversation today.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Of course you want to discuss about like what we did mention about the video game. How what drew me about the video game mentality that I have of myself.
Right.
Well, like video game has been like I kind of brought like a video game lifestyle to like as far as on the music in me. Cause I started like going cause I was starting to come up with my naming myself like when I did the cause I did this beat tape called the Reset Button.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah, I did 3 this time.
You did. What do you mean?
Well, no, like you did. Well, you remember the first one, and I did the second one. I don't think you knew about the third one.
I didn't know about the third one.
Yeah,
so
I did.
That's on the way.
What? No, that's already out.
It's already out. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah. I dropped it on. I dropped it last year.
Oh shit. Damn, my bad. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, so the third one was dropped last year.
Anyway, you got those 3.
Yeah, I did those 3, and then like, cause that was the time that like I came. I was so heavy on some video game shit, like like a little bit last year, cause like when I started like trying to figure out what my style is, and then style. Cause you see that the local it's like kind of come from like a
Sega.
Yeah. Cause cause you been knew about the original one, the local, but then I kind of updated the updated little change up, and then like, cause I've been starting going like cause after I started linking up with Bridget and all, I started like going to the Comic Cons and Nickel City Cons and shit, like, and then I was starting getting that art basic, because I got guys who've been drawing drawing shit for me, and then I got like and I've been buying like games and little action figures around, and then I start like I've been starting like buying like games myself, and even there's some event that I don't think you ever knew about. This is considered like a video game event going around here.
What's that?
Have you ever heard? Have you ever seen those guys that played those band that played those video game soundtrack?
Are you talking about I can't think of the name.
Glitch video game band.
Oh no, that wasn't what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, that's those are guys that you probably seen them when they was in that con.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con, Comic-Con, Nickel City Con. Like they had those projectors of a gaming while they play music. What they do.
That's cool.
So
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they when they started bringing that in here, cause I've been going to the like Milky's and Nietzsche's, like just while they just play music. They just like play music, like video game soundtrack music, and like on live, and then they put like TV display for us, like just play Nintendo or Sega or Super Nintendo or some shit, and then that kind of like I always enjoyed it. I always like been enjoying being there, and then I mean I was supposed to do a show. I was supposed to do a show by them by me DJing. By me DJing like and play some 8-bit or 16-bit music.
That would've been cool.
Yeah, but I was out of time. But I was away at the time. But next time I'm down for it
For sure.
Yeah, cause I want to do something a little bit like different. Like I'm kind of with that. Cause I do with that, and then like. With that, and I do want to kind of like also I want to go like I want to try to go like some like video game con.
Yeah.
Like outside
like an E3 type of thing.
Well, something like that, and then like
PAX.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to go like video game con, and then just trying like expand just trying to expand cause like. And also, while I'm there, I've been meeting these guys that I was watching like. Have you ever familiar with the Angry Video Game Nerd?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Yeah, I met the dude who.
Did you?
Yeah, I met. He was at the con.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah. He met I met the dude. I met the.
I did meet the Pink Ranger though from the original Power Rangers.
Kimberly?
Yes, that was super cool. Yo, when I was younger, I had a huge crush on Kimberly. Oh my god.
Oh, man,
then she was like, I want $40 for a picture, and then I just walked away.
I kind of wish if
Trini was her and the Yellow Ranger.
What was it? Isha?
Yeah, Aisha or something like that.
Yeah, I kind of wish if Trini was alive right now, like she'll be like still be like still like she'll be still be here.
You're right.
And then but like yeah, I met James Wolf, and then like he was a cool dude. And I'm saying to myself like, damn, I'm watching this dude because his show is so fucking hysterical.
Yeah,
like he always get pissed off about some of the games, and, and then, I'm like the games that was so bad because we're all playing shit that was so bad. Back in like the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Because because this is before internet, like.
Of course.
And then he kind of review it, and then he just go the fuck off about what went wrong, and even the game system too.
Right.
And then he broke down about that.
Yeah.
And then, like I laughed my fucking ass off.
Yeah.
About that. So that kind of like see him in person, I'm like, wow, I'm watching this dude all the time on the internet,
right.
and I'm meeting seeing him, and that kind of that was another treasure for me. And then like and then like, and of course I want to be on like as far as on the gaming influence, like I kind of want to be like the on the produce. Of course I want to do beats. but also I kind of had that video game element to my music. That was the time that like you got you got artists like Mega Ran, Clear Soul Forces,
Sure.
Lupe Fiasco,
Right.
who was making a little reference to video game, and then you got like some producers like DiBiase, and then Charles Hamilton was the first one kind of does that, even though he was doing a Sonic though.
Right.
And then I haven't got a chance to so I kind of feel like I want to add on to the gaming nerd movement, cause you got like the Wu is on some
Kung Fu, yeah.
some Kung Fu shit, and then you got Griselda who's on
wrestling.
On some wrestling. Me, I'm kind of like on some on some video game
right
elements, like, cause everything that I can still make beats, but also I can play little games, and then anything I'll buy, whether it's the shirts or whether it's like a display or action figures that I want to collect it.
right
That kind of brought me back to that's still I was at the store in a while in New York City. They have all the classic shit at the New York City.
right
There's a store. Yeah, there's a store on the 6th Ave.
okay
And then they have a lot of classics and shit. Like, I want to buy everything.
I feel
I want to buy everything, but the shit is it's so damn high.
your library is so expansive already. I feel like
Oh,
you
yeah,
posted
like,
Echo the Dolphin the other day on Sega Genesis. I was like, what?
I never play. You know what?
You never played it?
I played it, but I've been hearing some cause I've been watching reviews, and then that's
It's trash.
yeah, it's fucking hard as hell.
Yeah.
I did hear reviews about that. Like, I've been watching it, like, gaming reviews on YouTube.
Right.
And then like that's some shit that gives you nightmares.
Yeah, right.
and that kind of like so the gaming has been kind of like it's been part of my element.
Right. So what was your favorite game?
What's my favorite game? Sonic and like Sonic, Tekken, and Streets of Rage.
Got you.
Like, and of course, Mortal Kombat.
Of course. Yeah. So, I was 4 years old playing Mortal Kombat 4. Probably not the best game for a 4-year-old
Well,
to play,
because it was a 3D.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can see the blood. Oh, people dying on spikes. It was crazy.
Yeah, but the fourth one was kind of a little rubberish.
Well, what?
Rubberish.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was a time that this was like 97. Yeah, this is where everything was all 3-dimensional.
Yeah, it wasn't like where it, should have been.
Yeah.
One last question. What's your favorite animal?
What do you mean, animal?
Yeah, animal.
I kind of like when I was growing up, I used to like bears.
Bears? Any bear in particular?
Like koala bears or something.
Koala bears? I love koala bears.
Because I had a koala bear when I was little.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't remember. I don't know what I did with it by then.
Yeah. Do you know what a pangolin is?
So what, a penguin?
No, it's not a penguin. It's this.
Oh shit! What is it? What is it? What is it? This shit? What? I know what you mean, but it's kind of like you rolling and kind of look like some Sonic, some real life.
Kinda. It's like a hedgehog mixed with an anteater mixed with a dinosaur sand / Pokemon shit. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, I just like showing all my guests that, seeing if they know what it is.
Right.
Until one person says, "Oh yeah, I know what that is," I'm gonna keep showing people the pangolin. But Cee Gee, again, thank you for coming by, man. We're over 2 hours in.
Right.
This has been one of the longer podcasts we've had. A lot of great information we talked about. Learned a lot about you. And I just want to thank you for coming by, man.
Oh, word.
Appreciate you.
And Like you appreciate that. Like got classical gifted coming up,
Yes.
and Green Giant 2 was on the mix.
Okay.
And me and Genesis got a whole tape.
Very nice.
Is
I
it-
think he was telling me about that.
Yeah, you
in
gotta
our
have the whole
episode.
tape. And then plus Almighty Rebels. My MC got a solo project. I'm about to executive. That I'm about to executive. Also, we got a tape. We'll be working on soon. Like he just trying to get back on the track.
Yeah.
And also I got I got a couple of projects and placements. Like it's definitely in works.
Right.
And 2020 is gonna be a little bit like it's gonna be a good year for me. And then plus like I think the Brother Joe's is the first shit you're gonna be hearing from me and Westside Gun.
Right.
Like, don't think that it'll be more in the chamber.
For sure. I'm sure there is.
Cause I'm trying to tap Conway and Benny next.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to. At that
I'm
point.
trying to tap them niggas.
You got Rick High. You got Wes.
Yep.
So yeah, you got to get the whole the squad.
And plus, oh yeah, me and Camino got some shit on the
And
chamber.
you and Camino, ooh, nice.
Yeah, cause he just before because I was supposed to be on the Camino too, but I guess that it was certain songs that got cut off and they made it a short. So maybe that the one joint that is going to be added on the joint is going to be added on too.
Right.
Oh yeah, so I have a lot of things in works.
Definitely, man. Well, this has been episode 10, something new. Open up with Cee Gee. Thank you for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace.